We have some word problems we're going to work on for today's lesson. First problem, okay, well the instruction says draw a strip diagram and write an equation to solve this. And problem number one, Hannah ran 2/3 mile. David ran 1/3 mile. How much further did Hannah run than David? Okay. So if I'm going to draw a strip diagram, separate in half. The top one's going to be Hannah, and the bottom one's going to be David. And they ran it, our denominator for both the fractions are thirds, so I'll break them into thirds. Hannah ran 2/3 a mile, so we'll go ahead and highlight Hannah's. That's 1/3, 2/3, so that's what Hannah ran. And David ran 1/3 of a mile. So we try to figure out what the, it's asking what the difference is. How much further? How much further did Hannah run than David? And you can see that Hannah ran 1/3 further. And also to write an equation, that equation would be, okay, that's what we came up with our strip diagram. So our equation is going to be 2/3, which is what Hannah ran, minus 1/3, which is what David ran. The difference is 2 minus 1 is 1. Denominators stay the same. So that means Hannah ran 1/3 further. Problem number two. Glinda wrote 1/7 of her paper on Monday, 2/7 of her paper on Tuesday, and 4/7 of her paper on Wednesday. Her paper is due on Thursday. Did she complete it? And explain. So, actually it's just that part right there. Did she complete it? And we'll go ahead and figure this out then. Okay. So she wrote, that's 1/7 of the paper, 2/7 of the paper, and 4/7 of the paper. It's all talking about the paper. So that sounds like it's either going to be, well, we can't subtract three numbers, so we'll go ahead and just add them. So 1/7 plus 2/7 plus 4/7. 1 plus 2 is 3, and 3 plus 4 is 7. Denominator stays the same. 7/7. That's her whole paper, so yes, she did complete her paper. Problem number three. Write a problem that you can solve using a strip diagram and an equation. Okay, and this is a problem that I wrote. Slide down a little bit. Okay. Pearl ran 1 kilometer on Saturday and 1/4 kilometer on Sunday. How many more kilometers did she run on Saturday than Sunday? So strip diagram. Do a strip diagram. And my denominator right there is fourths right there. So break that in half and break each one of those in half. That should give me fourths. So on Saturday, we'll do the top one is Saturday. The bottom is Sunday. So on Saturday, she ran 4/4 or a whole mile, and on Sunday she only ran 1/4. So the difference is 1, 2, 3/4. So she ran 3/4 more on Saturday. So we'll write 3/4. Or we could do it in an equation, which would be 4/4 minus 1/4. Okay, 4 minus 1 is 3. 3/4. So she ran 3/4 of a mile further on Saturday than she did Sunday. Okay, These word problems are actually pretty simple word problems. You shouldn't have too much problem with them. I'll have you do those 4 on your own. And we'll look back at the back page here. And these aren't too difficult either. But we'll go ahead and pick out a couple here that might be a little bit challenging that we'll work together on. Problem number 9. Miguel has 8 comic books and 4 detective books. His sister says 2/3 of his books are comic books. Miguel says 8/12 of his books are comic books. Who is correct? So, first of all, we need to come up with the fraction of comic books he has. And I'll box in my question. I'm trying to figure out who's correct. Is Miguel correct or his sister correct? And he has 8 comic books and 4 detective books. His sister says he has 2/3 and he says he has 8/12 are comic books. So ask over total. So I'm trying to figure out the fraction of books of his books that are comic books. We're asking about comic books, so that's going to be our numerator, 8, and total amount of books would be his comics plus his detective books, and 8 plus 4 is 12. So it does look like Miguel is definitely correct, but his sister says that he had 2/3 of his books are comics books. So let's go and compare and see if those fractions are the same fraction or if they're equivalent fractions. They both may be correct. So she's saying 2/3 of his books are comic books. If I cross multiply, 2 times 12 is 24. 3 times 8 is 24. So it looks like they are both correct. Both of them are correct. Box in my answer there. And problem number 11. Problem number 11. Draw a picture. Jack's dog has a rectangular pen. The length of the pen is 2 feet longer than the width. Which is the width is 6 feet. What is the distance around the pen? Very good problem. Very good problem. And the distance around the pen, that's perimeter. So we're trying to find out the perimeter of this pen. I'm just going to mark P right there. And it says the width, go ahead and box in my question. What is the distance around the pen? We need to make sure we answer what the distance is around the pen. I drew the picture. This is a pen, and we're trying to find the perimeter. The width is 6 foot. So that means this side's 6 foot also. And it says the length is 2 feet longer than 6 foot. So that would be 8 foot. And that means this side would be 8 foot since it's a rectangle. Opposite sides are equal. So we need to go ahead and add, that's 8 plus 8 plus 6 plus 6. We can simplify that. That's 16 plus 12. And 6 plus 2 is 8. And 1 plus 1 is 2. So the area around his pen would be 28 feet. 20 feet around his pen. And that would be the perimeter, or P equals 28 feet. And you're going to go ahead and do the rest of them on your own. Like I said before, those are pretty, not too difficult of questions, as long as you sit and think about them.